welcome to another AP Lit video. This one is reviewing the College Board's AP Lit video number 19, which is about dissecting a prompt. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that prompt. So now, as of this year, all AP prompts will have the same basic format. It's similar to what you've seen in the practice ones that I've given you links to before, but just is formalized and structured. So let's talk about what that means. So there are three things to it. There's often the author, the date the work was published, and the title of the work. There's some sort of context, because it's very rare that you read just the beginning of a text. It's usually from somewhere in the middle of it. And then finally, there's a task, right? And this is nothing new, right? You've seen this all before. Finally, though, there is no more list of literary devices. I'm sure you can recall seeing some other prompts in the past, and it would say, you know, you may choose to use dialogue and blah, 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 blah. Those things aren't going to be there anymore. And so you'll have to rely on yourself. Now, that worksheet you had from a couple days ago with the 3x3 thing on it, attached to that was a list of literary devices that would be useful for a prose prompt. I recommend you having that list out with you when you are taking the test. All right, so let's take a look at an AP prompt. And this is actually the one you all wrote about Lucy. The homework was actually to write about this one, but that's okay. So let's take a look. The following excerpt is from an 1852 novel by Nathaniel Hawthorne. In this passage, two characters who have been living on the Blythedale Farm, a community designed to promote an ideal of equality achieved through communal rural living, are about to part ways. Read the passage carefully, then in a well-written essay, analyze how Hawthorne uses elements and techniques to portray the narrator's complex attitude towards Zenobia. Okay, so the first part, right? They don't give you the title here, but they do give you the date and the author, right? This is 1852. It's the 19th century. It's written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Maybe you've read The Scarlet Letter, so you know a little about Nathaniel Hawthorne. That could be. You know, in the Scarlet Letter, it certainly satires the different ways that men and women were treated. So, you know, the idea of you know, promoting equality might be something that you're used to with Hawthorne's writing. Secondly, you have the context there, right? And in the context is we have a rural commune dedicated towards equality. You don't think of the date. This is 1852. Not long before the Civil War. You know, what does the idea of equality mean here? You know, and that's maybe something to write about. We also know that two characters are about to leave this commune. And then finally, the task. And that asks you, what is the narrator's complex attitude towards Zenobia, and how is it communicated? We've talked about this a billion times in class, right? All of these prompts ask two basic things, a what and a how. So when it says, in a well-written essay, analyze how Hawthorne uses literary elements and techniques to portray the narrator's complex attitude towards Zenobia, you need to answer the question first, what is the narrator's complex attitude towards Zenobia? And the second is, how is it communicated? You know, what are those literary elements? How are they used? I want to direct your attention towards that word there, complex, because it's always something complex, which means it's not a simple attitude, right? There's some complications to it. You know, there's some ambiguity. It's probably in some way positive, probably in some way negative. It's both of those things. Some things are being helped, some things are being hurt. And so, you know, your goal is to identify and interpret that complex attitude, and then analyze how it is, how it's communicated. Okay, all right. This is nothing new. We've done this a million times. You are just fine at it. All right. So for tomorrow, first, No Poetry Tuesday. I'm very sorry. Secondly, you need to watch video number 20, which is about writing effective thesis statements. And that, of course, is in this assignment on Google Classroom. You need to read the whole Hawthorne passage. That'll be attached as well. And then you need to write and submit a thesis. And I look forward to reading them. Until then, I'll see you later.